actually been a while since I've done any K11 footage, so I thought today I'd tackle a job that's been on the job cards for a while now, and it's replacing the back box. So what has happened is, because the car isn't used that much, the exhaust back box has rotted out internally. All of the fiberglass insulation has just literally been ejected from the exhaust. Actually happened when I was driving, and a huge load of fiberglass got ejected from the exhaust under high pressure. Thankfully no one was behind me, but it did look quite amusing in the rear view mirror. And at that point I thought, yeah, maybe I need to replace this. So in this instance, it's held in with a couple of 17mm bolts. You will need a 17mm spanner as well. I'd recommend a crow's foot spanner because there is a bit of a lip on the flange on the back side of the point where it meets this centre section. So it'd be best to have a crow's foot spanner so you can actually sort of get in there. In my case, because the car isn't used during the winter, it was actually very easy to remove these two bolts. They weren't all that tight and they came off really easily. Now, I would recommend having some exhaust paste on standby, so that when you come to reassemble, use high temperature paste to sort of seal up the gap. There is basically a lip on the centre section which goes inside of the rear section, so into the back box, and that is pretty much how it seems to make it seal. So I would recommend a bit of paste around it so that it does seal properly. Now, what I'm doing here is I'm just removing the rubber mounts. Now, on this particular back box, because it's really not that heavy, you can remove them by hand. But in the past, I've actually used a trolley jack to support the exhaust and actually take the weight off of the exhaust and then pop out the back boxes in that way. The one annoying difference between this back box and my new back box is my new one actually has a straight tip. Now, on the coil pack cars, because the bumper comes sort of down a little bit further, I think, you do need to have a downward facing tip as shown on this exhaust here. So what I'm doing off camera is I've purchased a add-on chrome tip with a downward tip. I'll probably just literally sort of grind off a bit of the new exhaust tip and then just fit the downward tip. So not only will I have a downward facing tip, but I'll also have a rather nice chrome finish to it as well, which would be rather splendid. So I mounted all of the rubbers off of the car because it's easier, in my view, to sort of get them mounted to the exhaust beforehand. As stated previously, there are 3 in total. So you've got 2 at the back and then you've got 1 at the front. Now, it's easy enough to get the 2 at the back on, but that third one is a little bit tricky. And what we did with that one was we didn't actually worry about that until the end. So I got the 2 on at the back, then I got got the bolts for the exhaust bolted in place so that the exhaust was mated up with the centre section. Not shown on camera was me applying the exhaust paste, but yeah, it is there and it is in place. Then I mated the 2 together and bolted it up hand tight, so as hand tight as it would go, to the point where you would start tightening it with a ratchet and a spanner at that point. As you can see here, that's exactly what I'm doing there. Now, you've got the bolt, you've got the nut, and you've got 2 washers. Now, those washers go either side of the flange. So you've got bolt and washer in at the top, then you've got nut and washer in at the bottom. Now, leaving the exhaust actually loose on that final mount actually gives you the opportunity to sort of move it around to get it to all fit together. So it's a good idea to leave that one until the end. It's actually easier to do it this way because you want to have the exhaust somewhat supported, so that when you actually do come to finish it, it's all together and it's it's much easier to get it up into position. So just getting that one sorted out now. Ultimately, you might actually find it even easier to remove the rear wheel, and that would give you access to the inner arch area and ultimately that other mounting point. But in my case, up on the ramps was absolutely fine. Now, something else I was doing here as well, which is something I always do whenever I'm underneath any of my cars, is I was touching up the rust proofing. Seems to be a hobby of mine. I'm obsessed with rust proofing. I noticed that there were some surface blops on the Micra, so I cleaned those up with some dinitrile rust converter and then used a bit of dinitrile rust proofing to cover up the neutralised areas of rust. Ultimately, I probably at some point will use some of that LanoGuard stuff. So I want to use that both on the Corsa when it's back together and in one piece. Also on the, might use it on the XJ40 and definitely use it on the Micra. The BMW is too new at the moment. And also all of the underside is covered with plastic shielding, so I'll probably leave that one for now, but that'll be certainly something to consider for the future. At the moment, I if I use it during the winter, which I sort of tend to use it very sparingly, it gets cleaned as soon as I've finished using it, especially on salted roads. So just putting these in hand tight, and in a moment we'll be moving on to actually sort of mounting it back in place. But yeah, that is pretty much all you need to do. Anyway, thanks for watching.